us a wave. Let's do this week's video.
Woohoo!
Let's do this, Gina. Let's do this. Hey guys and girls, it's Ken and Gina here from OKportugal, and welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life. Now, as you can probably tell, we're not on the farm right now. We are in Castelo Branco. We're actually on our way into the city of Castelo Branco. And our farm actually forms part of the district of Castelo Branco. Now, I wanted to give you guys some information on Castelo Branco because Gina and I are still learning about the place as well. So we had a look on the tourism website and we came up with a whole bunch of really cool facts and things that we want to share with you guys. Now, this region has been inhabited since the Paleolithic era, and I didn't actually know what that meant. I had to Google it because I didn't really know exactly when that was. It sounds quite old, but it's from 2.5 million years ago till 10,000 BC. Now, they were early humans living here in caves, little huts. They were hunter-gatherers, and there's evidence of this, that, you know, they've actually found like artifacts and things like stone axes, bits of ceramics and things like that. So yeah, basically Gina and I were not the first people to discover Castelo Branco.
I'm almost old enough though.
Gina and I have been in Castelo Branco for nearly 2 years now, and this is actually the first time that I've actually gone and seen the castle. So behind me here, this is known as Castelo Branco, or in English it's White Castle. And this area where the castle sits was actually gifted to the Templars, or the Knights Templars, and they built a village here and they built this fortress. And a little bit later on, I believe it was in 1215, the Pope named this Castelo Branco. So that's pretty much how this castle got here. And you can see from where I am right now, you've got elevated views over the entire city. I mean, you can just see for miles and miles. In 1771, Castelo Branco was known as a city. It had expanded so much. And in 1858, there was a telegraph line that was opened between Abrantes and Castelo Branco. 2 years later, the city received its first public lighting system. And in 1959, it became known as the capital of the entire district, sharing its same name, Castelo Branco. So behind me is all Castelo Branco. It's one of the largest municipalities in the country. It stretches for 1,438 square kilometers. I did actually have to check that out on the piece of paper because all of these facts and numbers, I've only just learned them. Now, it's made up of 19 different freguesias, and freguesias are basically parish councils. And Soleiro, where we have our farm, is one of those parishes. And the views from up here are absolutely spectacular. So if you do come to Castelo Branco, you must come to the castle. There's not really that much of it left, but the views that you get from up here are quite something.
So that was really interesting to see. The first time I've been to the castle since we've lived here, but I'm starving. It's time to go to a vegetarian restaurant, so Ken has to choose something other than a steak.
As luck would have it, the vegetarian restaurant is closed. Now guys, don't take this the wrong way. I have nothing against vegetarians at all. In fact, I love eating salads and I do love eating vegetables and stuff. And it's kind of a joke on the channel where I'm always eating steak and drinking beer, you know. But I would say for half of the week we definitely are sort of vegetarian, and the other half of the week I'm a carnivore, you know. But this restaurant's closed, so Gina's going to find something else. Have you found something?
Well, there's a place called Fast Vegan.
Fast Vegan, okay.
Do you want to try Fast Vegan, or we can try something else? I don't mind if you feel like you need a bit of meat.
Yeah, we can try a Fast Vegan. I think a Fast Vegan will be very tasty. I mean, I hear that they're very healthy people. So yeah, let's give one of those a go.
It's down there. I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay, cool. Wow, look at this mural.
Muriel's going to be upset with you for taking photos of her.
Cool, well this looks pretty good. So this Fast Vegan restaurant has it's got like an inside area, and it's got this little courtyard, which is quite sweet. Little orange trees and a fig tree. It's nice and cool, and yeah, nice and relaxing. Anyway, we're going to go and try this now, and then we're going to take you somewhere pretty cool. So if you find yourself in Castelo Branco and you want to get some fast vegan food, well, this is the place to go, fast vegan. But also in the background here, these are some animals that are up for adoption. So they actually rescue animals. Well, there's a whole bunch of different ones. There's lots of kitties, as you can see, little puppy. There's even some pigeons. And over here, like a little budgie. I think that's called a budgie, I'm not sure. But yeah, so if anyone wants to adopt any animals, you're in Castelo Branco, come and have a look on the wall here and check it out. Well, that was a very different lunch for me. It's not my regular steak and beer, but it was really nice. You know, I don't feel bloated or heavy or anything like that.
It was filling though.
It was filling, yeah, it was really good. I can recommend it. It's a good restaurant. It's here in in Castelo Branco.
Yeah.
In like the center of town. I'm going to put like the name up on the screen and all of that if you want to go and check it out.
Fast vegan. I think it's on Google.
Yeah, fast vegan. Stick that into Google Maps when you're in Castelo Branco and you'll find it. But now we're going to go and take you somewhere different, somewhere interesting. Well, we hope it's interesting because we've never actually been there before, but we've been wanting to check it out for a while.
So you'll find out at the same time as us.
Exactly. So we're just about to pull up to the place where we're going. And it's called, actually you can't see it because it's behind Gina's face. Can you see it now? Yes, Barral Park. So we are here at Barral Park. I'm not sure if I've said that correctly. I'm guessing this is where we're going to have to pay and... Bom dia. For dois.
It's free.
It's free, okay.
Oh wow, okay.
I need your name and phone number.
Yes, okay. Wow, so it's free. So, can you believe it? It's free. They basically give you these cards and you have to give the card back when you come back. And I'm guessing that's just like a security thing in case you get lost or something like that. And
why they want your name and phone number.
Exactly.
In case you get lost.
Yeah. And in front here is the walkway. So Barral Park is basically a series of walkways that goes between these huge granite rocks, and it's in the center of Castelo Branco, the city. There's a whole bunch of different viewpoints where you can see these huge granite rocks, and that's where we're going to take you right now. So all around us here we've got a whole bunch of different granite rocks and things, and this is basically what makes up this Barakal granite. And it basically belongs to a granite massif of Castelo Branco. So Barakal itself is a large granite space here in the city of Castelo Branco, but it actually also stretches about 390 square kilometers, and it's 300 million years old, or at least they estimate it to be 300 million years old. And basically all of this granite was formed about 30 kilometers below the Earth's surface, below the Earth's crust, at temperatures of up to 750 degrees Celsius. All of these materials were fused together, and as the plates pushed up to create the mountains, all of the granite was formed and basically came up to the surface. So behind me over here is a big rock called the Bowstone, and behind the Bowstone, off in the distance over there, is the castle. That's where we originally started this whole episode from. So from the castle you're actually looking down over this huge Barakal area. Now we can start to see all the sort of vegetation. We've got some oaks over here. I'm not sure exactly what type of oaks these are, but I know that there's quite a few different species up here. So we're about to pull up at the very first viewing point here, and it's called Marante de Castelo Branco. I probably said that wrong. I'm sure you're going to tell me in the comments. You've got some beautiful views of the mountains and also the entire city. You can see that the entire walk is very clearly marked. It shows you where everything is, and you just basically follow the trails. There's nice little seating areas here, so you can rest after a little bit of a climb, but nothing too steep. This is where we came from, just at the bottom here. But Gina and I are going to soldier on. We're going to go along the paths. The next thing that we have just come across on our track is Pedra da Rondoa. So that's the signpost. And I believe it's this. Pedra is rock. I don't know what Rondoa means, but I'm sure someone will tell us. So imagine 300 million years ago, all of these pieces of granite were basically formed underneath the ground. They're pushed up to the surface as the tectonic plates were pushing up to create these mountains. And they probably look completely different. I mean, right now what we're looking at is 300 million years of wind and rain and everything that's carved these into all these crazy shapes. And as we go through the park, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to show you all of these amazing like faces and rock formations and things. So this is called the Rondoa stone, and over here on this side is a cave. And you can actually see what looks like black, almost soot on the walls of the cave. Now you can imagine that this would have been a perfect place for someone to take shelter tens of thousands of years ago. A perfect place for a chimney to come out the top.
Prehistoric man made his home in here.
Yeah, there's actually evidence of that. So they found stone axes, and they found millstones, and they found ceramic pottery and all sorts of things on these sites across here to actually show that there was man living here in the first millennium. So a really, really long time ago. Caveman. And caveman is actually not that distant a relative of me. Yeah, I'm definitely caveman as well. Caveman. Last weekend we forgot to bring water with us.
Not this time.
This time we've got some water. Hopefully it's enough.
And we got another bottle.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
Another bigger bottle.
we got a bigger bottle as well, yeah. Okay, excellent. Now I've just reached the next viewpoint called Marante de Barakal, and just behind us here is what's known as the granite cherry on top of the Barakal. And we're 425 meters up. So this is it here. This is the giant cherry. And stretching in the distance are all of the views. And you can just see for miles and miles and miles around. Well, apart from where these trees are. But from next to the trees. And also apart from these trees here. But you get the gist. Gina's soldiered ahead. I'm not quite sure where she's gone. Let's go around the corner here and find out. So this geodesic landmark is known as Talefe. It's placed at the highest point and marks the exact cartographic location belonging to a triangulation network that started being defined in Portugal since 1790. So earlier on I was just behind this, what they call the cherry, and I said that that was the Marante de Barakal, but actually that is over there. So these are the views that are practically unobstructed, and you can just see for miles and miles. There's actually evidence over here that there was some fire in this park. You can see it must have happened quite a few years ago because of these burnt trees. But in the meantime, there's a lot of sort of oaks and things that have shot up. So I'm guessing this was quite a few years ago that this would have burnt. So we are on our way along the Barakal path, and we're going to go to the Prehistory Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And we're right over there where Gina pointed her finger. And the entrance is?
Here.
Here. So I think we have a long distance to go.
My fingernails if I was doing finger modelling.
Exactly, yeah. It must have been quite an undertaking to build all of these paths, all of this decking, all of this metalwork. It must have cost them a fortune. And they don't even charge you to come in here. It's incredible.
It's a
UNESCO.
a UNESCO site, so I think they probably got funding for it.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
only been open less than a year, I think. I think it was supposed to be opening last year, but because of COVID, and they've opened it this year instead.
I would say access-wise, it's good access apart from the fact that there's lots of steps. So you wouldn't be able to get a wheelchair here.
It's not good access.
Well, it is good access as in...
It's good access for ambulant people who can walk around, but it's definitely not designed for wheelchair use.
Yeah, but I mean, you can walk around like with flip-flops on, and you know, it's not like hiking in a mountain where you have to use chains and stuff like that. All right, we've just come up to a new place. It's called Santuario Rupestre. Yeah, here you can see evidence of how this looks like broom that was burnt in a fire. What a shame. You know, with places like this, it's incredibly hot, and stuff like this burns. You know, it's a lot of plants actually burn, and they're meant to burn so that their seeds can go into the soil. And you know, on its own, without people living here and stuff, I think fire is probably quite a natural thing to occur, especially when it naturally occurs with things like broom and endemic species to this peninsula. It's obviously when people get involved and have houses that fire becomes a big problem, and also when people start to plant things like eucalyptus and pine. And here we are, Santuario Rupestre. So this is a boulder set that's become a man-made monument holding a granite engraved staircase. All right, let's go and check it out. The staircase?
Yeah, sit on that.
Oh, okay, so they've actually...
Carved the staircase into it.
Okay, so I'm wearing flip-flops. I'm carrying a backpack full of camera gear. I'm not really equipped to be climbing up this thing.
I could go up there.
So, no, don't do it.
Oh.
So it looks like they've hand-carved a whole bunch of steps into the rocks here. And up there is probably like a little viewing point. But over time you can see that some of these have become very weathered and very loose. So I don't know if it's a good idea for either one of us to go up there right now.
Ken decided that it was too dangerous for me to climb up the steps in case I broke my other ankle. So I think we'll give that a miss.
Now when we first started our little walk up here, you could hear all the traffic and all of the cars. And now all I can hear is leaves rustling in the breeze and the buzzing of some flies. There's actually quite a few flies up here and they're driving me a little bit dotty.
This is Tunnel Legato, and this snakes all the way through the park and gives shaded areas for places to rest, and I'm being attacked by a fly. So they built it so that it gives shadows through the park.
And looks like a lizard.
It looks like a lizard.
Apparently.
It snakes through the park but looks like a lizard.
I'm not really seeing the lizard, but
I see the snake.
Maybe this is like its mouth.
We could be going through its bottom.
It could be the rear end of the snake, yeah.
Let's do it.
So as we're going through here, Gina just said that she's definitely getting snake. It's more of a snake vibe.
More of a snake than a lizard vibe.
Yeah, it's a little bit twisted. But there's, yeah, geez, it's amazing structure. It's like metal and lots and lots of wood. It must have cost a fortune to do all of this. And they don't even charge entry. It's thirsty work, this. Where is the water?
One of the million pockets.
But which bag? The red bag or the blue bag?
Blue bag. That's why I bought the blue bag.
What?
It's in the front.
Oh, there, yeah, okay.
It's a bit like, where's the car?
Yeah, this bag's got like 3 different sections, and it has another bag inside the bag as well. Yeah. It's like whenever you look inside a female's handbag, it's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
You shouldn't be looking.
And this isn't even a handbag. This is like a rucksack. It's like a new level of chaos.
It's got everything in it.
So they have these sort of emergency places here where you can get things like a fire extinguisher, though I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with that tiny thing if there was a big fire up here. But I suppose it's better than nothing. And they also have little points here. Look, there's water extinguishers. What's that, a fire hydrant? So yeah, it tells you where everything is.
This takes us to the Circle Dome.
Okay, so this is the Circulo de Domo. Let's go to the Circulo de Domo.
It reminds me of a film. What film has got the
Mad Max.
That's it.
Yeah.
A bit like Mad Max.
Let's see.
Bit.
Now in the last couple of days we've had like this tremendous storm. It started at about 2 o'clock in the morning and woke the dogs up, and we had DogDog running around crying. And
DogDog doesn't like thunderstorms.
yeah, and so
Mimosa slept through it though. She couldn't give a damn.
I was like exhausted. I just did not want to wake up. And so I didn't wake up, I didn't film it. Oh, geez, these flies are driving me mad. So I didn't film anything. But I'm sure there's lots of other YouTube channels popping up all over the place about Portugal. So I'm sure one of them is going to have filmed the storm that happened the last couple of nights. But one of the good things about the storm is it's kind of broken the really hot weather. I think today is only 31 or something, 29, 30. And here it is, Circulo de Domo. And it says here that you've arrived at the Dome Circle, a meeting point in the center of Barral Park. The circle invites you to rest and to small meetings, cultural events and lectures. Gina, would you like me to give you a lecture? Yeah, so basically, as you can see, this was like the finest craftsmanship from millions of years ago. They got everything completely smooth. No, obviously this is quite new, but yeah. The dome. Onwards and upwards. Let's go. Let's do this. So this is where we entered, and this over here is the circle where we've just been. And we can carry on in this direction to go and see the rest of the things that they've built that are on this map. But what we want to do is we want to go up here and we want to look at some of these granite rocks.
I want to go and have a look at the Tor.
Tor, which
And a
means
mushroom.
Tor means tower.
Yeah.
And there's a mushroom and there's all sorts of stuff. So we're going to go onwards, Gina.
This is jointed rock, but it looks like Bart Simpson's bottom, but it's not yellow. It does look like a bottom.
So some of the other rocks, formations and things are down here, and it doesn't look like the path has actually been built yet, because I believe that this park's been done in a couple of different phases. So right now I'm not sure if we can actually get to those different areas, but we're going to take you where we can get to. Right, so the next little bit that we've come to here, there's an observatory. There's different viewpoints, and then it takes you back to the tunnel and the reception. So let's go and check it out. I think these are like little meeting area viewpoints and things. Anyway, let's go and find Gina and see what's going on. And over here you can see Gina's found a little cage. We're going to close the door now, and she's going to become an attraction at the zoo. Sorry, I mean at this park. Unfortunately though, I don't know if this is going to hold her. This isn't strong enough. It's definitely not strong enough to hold a Gina. Look at this place. Wow, look at the clouds today. They are magnificent. Huh. So all the way up here, you can't even hear the cars and you can't hear the city. Little birds in the trees. Beautiful. So this point here is called Marante de Carvalho. And this here actually marks the Pyrenean oak forest section. So there's two main sections here. One of them is a Pyrenean oak forest, and the other one is like a Mediterranean area. And this one over here has got the Pyrenean oak, but the other one, the Mediterranean area, has got, I believe, lots of cork. So cork oaks, and it's also got holm oaks. So there's two different areas apparently. Now, I only know this because while we were in the car before we were getting here, I looked at the website and I quickly read up on everything. So yeah, I wanted to kind of figure out where we were going and what we were doing, but obviously
We're not experts.
No. She says that she's not an expert. Obviously, I am a massive expert on absolutely everything in the world. But all right, Gina, out your cage. You're allowed out for 5 minutes. A little 5-minute walk, and then you need to come back.
Pretty flower.
Yeah. So each season in Portugal is quite well defined. You can really see the difference between like spring, summer, autumn and winter. And a place like this, I can imagine that every season is going to look strikingly different. So Gina was just saying that she would love to come back here, you know, and look at it during all of those different seasons.
Yeah, I bet it's beautiful in spring.
Yeah.
All the pretty blossoms coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful now, it's just different.
Yeah.
We've got so many places to keep going back and forwards to in different seasons.
Exactly. So in front here, this is called the Observatory. And I think this is supposed to be a bird watching section, or a bird watching place. So let's go up there and see if we can see any birds. Hang on a second. There's a bird. There, look. So these are all the different types of birds. I have absolutely no idea what they are. But yeah. This one over here is called a pooper. That's the one that you don't want nesting over your car or anything like that, or over your patio. So we're inside this observatory, and oh look, they've actually made like little seats. So you pull this down, and you've got a little seat. An incredibly comfortable, no, it does the job. It's not bad, huh? Oh.
Moves through the gaps.
Yeah. There you have it. So you can sit here and you can put your tele zoom out the thing and capture birds. So it's quite a nice idea, and I like the fact that they've got these little chairs that you can sit on. But this is very bouncy.
And noisy.
It's bouncy and noisy, and I imagine if you come here and you want to set up like, you know, your tripod, and you want to, that's another thing is you can't set up a tripod on here because look, there's like all these slats. So if you want to sit here and let's say you've got a tabletop tripod and you want to look at birds, well, unfortunately, if anyone walks up here, the whole thing bounces and wobbles and makes a lot of noise. So I don't know if it's actually going to be a very good bird watching spot, you know. But fortunately, the whole rest of the park is a perfect bird watching spot, you know.
Down here might be better.
Just go and stand by some of the rocks over there, all nice and quiet. Set up your tripod, keep quiet, and I'm sure you'll capture some of the birds.
There is one issue though. Ken's incapable of being quiet, so I don't know whether he'd be very good at bird watching.
No, I would be absolutely terrible, because one of my favourite pastimes is to make loads and loads of noise and to talk non-stop.
From the minute he gets up to the minute he goes to bed.
Pretty much, yeah. Another viewpoint with incredible views just behind us. This one is called Marante de Daraya, and there's another viewpoint. Actually, wait, it also is called Marante de Daraya, so it's just another viewpoint of the same thing. And over here it says that granite rock is composed essentially of feldspar, quartz and mica. Successive climate change processes determine temperature, rock volume and intensity, together with different vegetation types and density, have been shaping underground and exposing the granite landforms onto the surface. Barakal is the landscape resulting from past climate changes. So I think essentially what they're saying is that there's a natural climate change that occurred here, or lots of different climate changes over like the last 300 million years. You could imagine, you know, this area could have been deep underwater, it could have been covered in forest, it could have been covered in snow. Essentially, I think the granite that we're standing on now used to be 30 kilometers below the surface, and that's where all of these rocks were basically cooked out of all these different minerals and everything. And as the plates shifted and as they were brought up to the surface, all of this granite came along with us. And over the years, you know, through rain and storms and all sorts of things, it's actually shaped these rocks and turned them into what it is today. And that the climate is most probably very different to what it was back then as these things first emerged. Now this one over here talks about the different types of granite and groups and rocks and things, and it's basically saying that the Barral group is 50 to 30 million years old, and that this granite of Castelo Branco is 310 million years old, and there's Quartzito or Moricano, which is 490 to 470, and then Grupo das Beiras, 600 million years old. That's incredible, huh? I don't ever want to reach 600 million years. I mean, the older I get, the grumpier I get. So imagine how grumpy I would be in 600 million years' time.
We missed the alien's head. That's a granite rock that looks like an alien, apparently.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So next time we come, we'll have to look at the alien's head.
Right, so we're on our way to the last viewpoint and the last rock. Or I say the last rock, but actually all around me are all these rocks. I mean, look at this one over here. And these giant granite rocks all over the place. So there's tons of them. But this one is the last named rock on the map, which is called Pedestal Rock. Now there are a couple of other rocks that we didn't get to that were down in that direction, but that part of the park hasn't been opened up yet, so that opens up in phase 2. Ah, look at this. So there's a rope bridge. It says maximum of two persons. So let's do this, Gina. I'm a person. Oh geez. Yeah, that's feeling quite groovy. Woo! Yeah, this with my balance issue is not so fun. Wow. Yeah, this is quite bouncy.
Maybe you can do a virtual tour of that house. That's got a nice outlook.
So according to the map and on the trail where we are, this is the last viewpoint. And it has a view, like this is all the main buildings in Castelo Branco, but it's got like this little mound, this little hill. And I don't know what that hill is. So I'm sure someone is going to know what that hill is, and they're going to tell us in the comments below. It's got to have some kind of historic meaning or something. Something like that. They would definitely have built a fort up there and have used that to defend things. But this over here is the Marante de São Martino.
So we're here.
And Gina is pointing on the map where we are. So we've done all of this area, and this part of the park hasn't been opened up yet. So that's coming in phase 2, I believe. So Gina's braving it alone. So that was the last viewpoint on the map for us to see at the moment. When phase 2 opens up, there's going to be a lot more different rocks and things that you can see. Now, this is the first time that we've been here, and we briefly looked at stuff in the car before we got here. So it's possible that we've missed out on a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm sure you can let us know in the comments below you know, if we've missed out on different areas, because we will be back.
Definitely.
Yeah. And in terms of, you know, visiting here, it's free. It's in the middle of Castelo Branco. You know, just put into Google Maps Barral Park, and it shows you exactly how to get here.
There's good parking.
Yeah, there's good parking here. It's quite an easy walk. I would say that there are some steps and there are some inclines, but it's nothing drastic. It's not like climbing up a mountain or anything like that.
Not very accessible if you use a wheelchair.
Yeah, if you're in a wheelchair, yeah, then it's not accessible because there are some steps. We're just on our way out, and we've just noticed this rock over here that Gina says looks like a Terry's chocolate orange.
And you've just dropped it.
You just dropped it on the ground and it's split open. So this over here takes us to the exit. There's a playground for kids. There's a WC, reception and cafeteria, and the sort of main entrance exit.
So we've just come past the kiddies play park, and we can go on these giant tube slides, and I haven't been on this slide for years and years, so I'm going to give it a go, but I've got really sweaty skin, so I might squeak on the way down. I feel like I'm going on a flume ride without water, so I'm going to go through there. Actually, I'm a bit terrified. Hang on, let me get in. I don't know how to get in. I think there was probably a more elegant way of doing that. Right, ready? Yeah! I'm going to turn you round. Ah! This is quite scary. I slowed myself down because I was a bit terrified. But it's cool. I might have to give it a go without slowing down.
Right, well that looked like fun. So I think I'm going to have to give it a go. Definitely. Let's go and check this out. There you go. All right, let's go. Oh, squeaky skin. Oh. Oh yeah. Whoa. Whoops. There you have it. Whew. Yeah, you're right. It is actually a little bit scary once you're in there. So you don't have to be a kid to use the kiddies playground.
Ken knows that all too well.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be a kid to act like a kid. I've been doing it my whole life. But that's, yeah, that was good fun.
That was good fun.
It's,
scary. I've forgotten how scary slides were.
Yeah, when she said scary on her way down, I was kind of like, you know. But I was a little bit worried that I was going to shoot out the other end like way too fast and just land on the gravel. And then it kind of just ended with not much of a...
No, I thought I was just going to go...
Yeah, I just kind of stopped. So, yeah.
A well-designed slide.
Yeah. And here we are, back to where we started. I believe this section on the right here is going to be like a cafeteria where you can order food and things. In the middle is a WC, so you can go to the bathroom. And then, of course, you've just got the reception where we came in the beginning. So quite an awesome little place. We definitely recommend you come and check it out. And yeah, when you're in Castelo Branco, there's not very many people here, so yeah, it's well worth it.